Shalom, Akim Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth, and that's teaching his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, all the way down to the large multitude that believes and who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. All right, I'm the brother Tazamon from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson, and Lord willing, today this lesson will be edifying. And I want to do a lesson based on a question that a brother had asked me in regarding to Romans, the 8th chapter, verses 24 and 25. And the main point of the question was, what does hope that is seen is not hope? What exactly does that mean? And, he referenced the fact of the matter of sometimes we see the chariots, which the chariots in the scriptures are known as the chariots of salvation, which are going to be the vehicles that Yahweh Basham Shai uses to deliver us out of Babylon, all right, here in America, as well as where we've been scattered in the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, we have that elect number. And we see the chariots at times. The Lord reveals the chariots unto us at times. So what exactly does that mean? So, like I said, I want to go in on this topic. I have a few precepts written down. Like I said, Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. So I'm gonna actually start off here in Romans the 8th chapter. And I'm going to start here at verse 23, actually, and then I'm going to read down. All right, so this is Romans chapter 8, verse 23. It says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. All right, and this is going into the whole fact of the matter of how the whole creation, whether it goes to the animals, the earth itself, everything is mourning, all right, underneath this rulership that's being ran by Esau, the devil. All right, remember the scriptures tell you that in Genesis the 27th chapter that his blessing will be the sword. All right, in Revelation the 6th chapter, John the Revelator, he's seen a vision, all right, of a red horse, and upon the horse a rider had a great sword, and he took peace away from the earth. And that's why the earth is in the state that it's in right now. The animals, the air, the water, the earth itself. Okay, the creation itself is mourning, and we ourselves too. Those of us that have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we mourn. We mourn within ourselves, and we grow. We grieve and we mourn. We're vexed, if you will, like the scriptures say that like Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. We're vexed ourselves here because ultimately we're in this flesh. Okay. Verse 24 says, for we are saved by hope. All right, I'm going to read that again. It says, for we are saved by hope. All right, now what does this word hope mean here in the Greek? All right, this word hope is pronounced elpis. All right, and hope is synonymous with faith. Okay, so we are saved by hope. All right, and when you get that definition here, it says hope whose object is seen. All right, let's get the bold word first, and then we'll jump down. It says much more frequent in the classics, and always in the New Testament in a good sense, Christian sense. All right, and we understand and know that we are the true Christians of the Mashiachim. All right, it says expectation of good. You see, hope. You see, it says Christian sense, joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. Let's read that again. Joyful and confident. Con meaning with, and fidence meaning faith. Joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. So your hope is your expectation. Okay, and as a matter of fact, there's a scripture in I want to say it's in Hebrews. Let's see if I can find it. Well, this is actually a good one. This is Philippians 1:20. It says, according to my earnest expectation and my hope. According to my earnest expectation, because we expect through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Basham Shai and with faith to be delivered. We expect to be delivered from this captivity. That's our expectation. So with that expectation, we move with the sense of urgency and fear of Yahweh Basham Shai to make sure that we can give diligence to make our calling and our election sure. So it says, according to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all but with all boldness as always. So now also Hamashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. You see, because ultimately when it's all said and done, whether those of us who are of the elect, Lord willing, we of that number, you know, whether or not it's written in our story for us to be put to death, you know, or to see the salvation. Remember, Yahweh Shai said it. He said, there be some standing here that shall not taste of death until they see the Son of Man coming in power and great glory. Okay, so the Apostle Paul is saying, so now also Hamashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. You see that? And there's particular members of the elect that are going to have to undergo death, you know. But even with them undergoing death, the expectation is what? Their hope is to be risen from the dead. And that's really not something that you could physically, tangibly see. You see? Hope that is seen is not hope. Just to think that if we knew the day and the hour that Yahweh Shai will return, then you really wouldn't have faith at that point. There will be no need of faith, because faith is something that you believe in, and even though you can't see it, but you believe it. Remember, that's what the book of Hebrews says, which we'll get here in a minute. You see, or it's like, for example, you know, being raised from the dead, or receiving spiritual power. You know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai setting up a standard. That's an expectation or a hope that we have, but that's not something that we can necessarily see at this moment. But it's written. You know, it's written that it will happen. So we have hope in that. Okay? So it says, once again, it says, for we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. You see? If you can see it, if you could, matter of fact, he's about to quote it. It says, for what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? So if you can see something that you hope in, you're not necessarily hoping in it, because obviously it's right there in front of you. There's nothing to hope for if you can actually see it. Let's read it in the NLT. It says, "For we are given this hope when we are we were given this hope when we were saved." Okay, now it's worded a little bit differently in the NLT, because none of us are actually saved yet. Now the elect, all right, are already saved through the Spirit, but they got to actually undergo it. You know, they actually got to undergo the salvation. You know, but ultimately, this knowledge is what saves us. All right, it says, "For we were given this hope when we were saved," when we heard the doctrine, when we heard the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, which is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, it says, if we already have something, we don't need to hope for it. You see, if you already have it, you don't need to hope for it if you already got it. You know, man, I hope I can get this, you know, somebody in the worldly sense, like, I hope I can get this new car, or I hope I get this job. But if you already have the job, or you already have the car, there's no need to hope for it, because you've already obtained it. Excuse me. Verse 25, it says, back in the KJV, it says, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Let's read that again. But if we hope for that we see not. Now, granted, do we see chariots at times? Yes, we do. Now, do we see the chariots up close, and can we see the details within the chariots like that? No, we can't. You know? But even when we see the chariots of salvation, ultimately, even though you can still see it, we're still hoping that we can be delivered by those chariots. It ain't like when you see the chariots, you just know, oh yeah, you about to get beamed. No, you see the chariots as a sign, but you still are hoping. You know, you still have belief and hope that you can make it out of here via the chariots. You see, let's read it in the NLT. But if we look forward to something we don't yet have, but if we look forward to something we don't yet have, which we look forward to what? We look forward to salvation. We look forward to new bodies. We look forward to rulership. You know, we look forward to a clean earth. We look forward to, to having the heathen underneath our foot, and being the sole rulers of the planet Earth. We look forward to being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. We must wait patiently and confidently. That's why the scripture says in Revelation 13, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You see, but with that patience comes endurance. It comes trials and tribulations and things that you got to undergo and go through in order to obtain it. You know? Man, what's that scripture in I think it's in 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Let me see real quick. it might be 2nd Ezra 7. Let me see. It's actually a good one. 2nd Ezra 7 and 9, it says, if this city, which this city's talking about the kingdom of heaven, if this city now were given into a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, which the danger that's set before it is all the, the trials and tribulations, the afflictions, Satan messing with us, demons messing with us, the lust of the flesh, the pride of the pride of life, all these different things that can pull you, right? If he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? You see? And we got to receive it through much suffering. And through the trials and tribulations that we go through, we ultimately hope. Okay, we ultimately hope that we're going to receive the reward or receive the prize. Okay? All right, now let's go to Hebrews the 11th chapter. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. All right, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. All right, now let's get a few words. That says, now faith or hope. All right, faith and hope are synonymous. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Right? That word substance is hypostasis. Okay? Hypostasis. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, which that word substance is confidence, firm trust, assurance. So faith is the confidence of things that we hope for, or it's the firm trust in things that we hope for. And who do we trust in? We trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Remember the scripture says, Yahweh Shai said to Thomas, he said, blessed are those who have not seen me, but yet do believe. We haven't physically seen Yahweh Shai. We have an idea of what Yahweh Shai looks like in his glorified state. We have an idea of what the kingdom's going to be like by way of us reading it. We can see it in our mind's eye, but we hope for these things. You see? But when when our faith is fulfilled, all right, when the faith is fulfilled, there's no longer a reason to hope in it. As a matter of fact, I might have that scripture written down. Yeah, I think that is it. Where it talks about we look through a glass darkly, but we'll get it here in a minute. So faith is the confidence or firm trust or the assurance, right, of things hoped for, right, the evidence of things not seen. You see, so faith is the evidence, the proof of things that we don't see. We have the story of creation. We can read about how the earth was created, how everything was made in the beginning, but we wasn't necessarily there to see it. Now, ultimately, the first fruits were there with Yahweh Shai, but we go based upon the faith of what is written. So hope that is seen is not hope, but if you have a hope for something, you confidently and you patiently wait for it, so that with that faith that's placed inside of you, you have that assurance that it's going to come to pass. That's why faith is so powerful. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you'll be able to move mountains. Because even through our faith, through the faith that we have with the act of preaching, is power in itself. You see? Let's get that one. I says I was looking through a glass darkly. Let's see. I think this is the one I'm looking for. There's another one I was thinking of, but I think this is actually the one I'm looking at or thinking of. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12. It says, For now we see through a glass, darkly. So it's like you're looking in a mirror, like looking through the glass darkly. It's like you're looking at a reflection of something, but what you're looking at on the other end is not really clear. You have an idea, you can kind of make out what it is, but you can't really see it clearly, right? So it says, for now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. You see that? But then it's going to be face to face whenever Yahweh Shai is revealed. And the salvation is actually here. We actually going to see Babylon being destroyed. We're actually going to see the missiles. We're actually going to be up and close with the chariots, and actually, Lord willing, be beamed up into the chariots, man. We actually going to see Yahweh Shai. We're going to be able to see, the fall of our enemies, man. That's actually going to be seen at that point. But we see darkly based upon what we can only see in our mind's eye, but the scriptures give us an idea. Okay? So it says, for we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part. Right? It says, now I know in part, but then shall I know also but then shall I know even as also I am known. But at that point, whenever he actually returns and he's actually physically here, and then then at that moment, it's going to be known. It's not going to be any more what ifs or, I wonder what, I wonder what the chariots look like, or I wonder what, I wonder what Yahweh Shai look. No, that's all going to be good. That's all going to be gone and done away with, because he's actually going to be here. Salvation is actually, we're going to be face to face physically with salvation at that point. You see, so at that point, there's not going to be no reason to actually, there's not going to be no need for faith. You ain't going to have faith in the kingdom, because everything's just going to be in the kingdom. We're going to exist in the kingdom. So let's get to the next precept. I got a few more left. Let's get Psalms. I had Psalms 27 and 13. Let's get that real quick. This is Psalm 27, verse 13. I start at verse 12. It says, deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. You see? And that's what's going on right now, man. You got all kinds of false witnesses and slanderers and naysayers and things of that nature rising up against the true men of the Lord, man. Okay, verse 13, and we don't want to be delivered into the hands and the will of our enemies, man. Because some of us are going to have to, some of us are going to have to get locked up, going to concentration camps. Some of us are going to have to undergo various persecutions, but we got faith and we believe that within those persecutions, what? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua will deliver us. We can't necessarily see it. At that moment, we believe it. You see, but when it actually happens, that's when your faith is going to be fulfilled. Okay, verse 13, it says, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of Yahweh in the land of the living. Okay, and to faint pretty much means to give up. You see, you got a lot of individuals who ultimately fall out this thing, first and foremost, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua just took his spirit away from them. But also, too, it's all sex way, it's all the same thing. But, they fall out due to the fact that they fainted, due to the fact that they wasn't able to endure. Okay? So it says, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of Yahweh in the land of the living. We're not in the land of the living yet. We're not in the land of Israel right now. We're not in our rulership. You see, but we believe ultimately at the end of the day that whenever we are in our rulership in our land, we actually ruling, being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, we're going to see the goodness of the land. We're going to see the goodness of our people in the land of the living at that time. Okay? Lord willing, actually, verse 14, it says, wait on Yahweh. Okay? And to wait means, it does mean to serve as well, too. But we got to wait on Yahweh. B'Shem Yahushua. The scripture says, wait ye upon the Lord until he rise up into the prey. So it says, wait on Yahweh. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. You see that? Be of good courage. Okay? And he shall strengthen thine heart or your mind. It says, wait, I say, on Yahweh. You see, we can't physically see Yahweh. Now we see his creation, which lets us know that he's there. But even when we wait upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua for him to send Yahweh Shai, when he's actually here, he's gonna be seen. You see? Hebrews 6 and 19. Let's get that real quick. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 19. It says, let's start at verse 17. It says, wherein the Most High, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, which that word immutability means not to change, the immutability of his counsel or his will, right? Confirmeth it by an oath. All right, and that oath was given unto who? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and it rested upon the lot or the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. As you have these Christians, All right, trying to hijack prophecy, trying to hijack the promises and the oath that Yahweh Basham Shai made with his people. Verse 18, that by two immutable things, which that word means not things that don't change, right? That by two immutable things in which it was impossible for the Most High to lie, we might have a strong consolation. And that word consolation means like comfort, okay? That word is paraklesis, which is the same word for comforter, okay? But it says that we have a strong consolation, all right? Consolation, comfort, solace. We have strong comfort, right? Solace. What's the definition of solace? It says comfort or consolation in a time of distress or sadness. You see, we're in a time right now where we are in a sense of sadness right now. You know, we're not in our land. We're not ruling. We're in oppression. We're still in slavery. You know, but when the time of Jacob's trouble comes, we're gonna have Yahweh Basham Al Shah to hope for. Okay, so it says that by two immutable things in which it is impossible for the Most High to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge. Refuge is like safety, to lay hold upon the hope set before us. Okay, and that hope that's set before us is what? Ultimately, Yahweh Shah delivering us from our troubles and from our distresses, right? Verse 19, it says, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul. Now, that word hope isn't actually written there because it's italicized. You see? It says, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul. That word anchor is ankure, or ankura. I'm saying that correctly. And it says figuratively, any stay or safeguard as hope. Okay? Scripture says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower or a safeguard. The righteous runs into it and is safe. Okay, figuratively, any stay or safeguard. Okay, so it says, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul. You see, both sure and steadfast, and which entereth into that within the veil. You see, because going in within the veil, all right, which is when in the temple, going into the veil will be the holies of holies. Okay, which is where the Ark of the Covenant will reside. You see, now we entering into within the veil now is going to be us actually physically getting beamed up and being delivered into the chariots and actually being face to face with Yahweh Shai, man. You see. So just as Yahweh Shai showed us the way to do it, we're following after his footsteps. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, there was more in Hebrews 11. Let's go back to Hebrews 11 and get verse 7. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. It says by faith Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet. See, Noah was shown the flood. Noah was given a vision of what was getting ready to happen. Now it didn't happen at the time when he was building the ark, but he's seen it. You see, while everybody else was scoffing and giving into marriage and mocking and things of that nature, Noah was building. And it's the same thing with us. We're building a spiritual ark now. We haven't seen the thermonuclear destruction. We haven't seen the missiles hit this place yet. We can see it in faith, and we believe that it's going to happen. So it says, by faith Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear. Fear and faith is synonymous. You see, it says moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Okay, the righteousness which is by faith, and ultimately that faith is in Yahweh Shai because he is our righteousness. Okay. It says, by faith he forsook Egypt, talking about Moses. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king. And we forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king. You know, the modern day Pharaoh, like it says in Romans 9. It says, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. You see that? It says, for he endured, made himself hard, as seeing him, Yahweh Basham Al Shai, who is who? Invisible. See, being invisible means that you can't physically see something. When something is invisible, you know, it's not, you can't see it. It's there, but you just can't see it. You see? And we're walking in that same light. Okay? 2 Corinthians 4:18. Let's get that real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, which is this, we're talking about our captivity, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. You see, so this captivity and hell that we catching right now, all right, it's only going to be for a moment, due to it's not going to compare to eternity. Pretty much is what it's saying, right? Verse 18, it says, while we look not at the things which are seen, right? We don't look at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. We don't look at tangibles. We look at things that we necessarily can't see. You see, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. That means that it's temporary, right? But the things which are not seen are eternal, meaning that what? They're everlasting. Okay? How can you fathom immortality? You can't. And the scripture says that it's like a drop in the ocean or sea. One of those two. Drop in the sea, maybe. Yep. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 verse 2, it says, who can number the sand of the sea and the drops of rain in the days of eternity? And you can't number it. You can't number these things. You see? It says, as a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand. So you got one drop of water going into the Atlantic Sea, or one little gravel stone of sand at a large beach or a coast, right? It says, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. It's not something that you can really even fathom. We can't really comprehend what eternity even is. But we believe that we're going to be eternal. We believe that we're going to be immortal. Okay? And then last verse, 2 Peter 1:8. This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 8. I'm sorry, it might be 1 Peter 1:8. My bad. Let's see. Okay, let's start actually at verse 6. 1 Peter 1:6. All right, it says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. And that's talking about us right now. All right, right now, just for a season, we're in manifold temptations, man. We're in heaviness, we're grieved, we're vexed. We're undergoing all these different, trials and tribulations and feelings that we get being in this flesh, right? It says that the trial of your faith, right, which is a testing of our faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, right, though it be tried with fire, which is talking about the hell that we catch, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua HaMashiach. Verse 8, whom having not seen ye love. I made that reference earlier to Thomas. He said, blessed are those which have not seen and yet do believe, right? Whom having not seen ye love, in whom, it says, verse 8, it says, whom having not seen ye love, in whom, though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory. Right? Receiving the end of your faith. We're no longer going to have to believe in Yahushua, because ultimately when he's here, he's here. It's not going to be a need of faith anymore. There ain't going to be the need of hope and belief. You see, because our faith is actually going to be there and seen. Right? Receiving the end of your faith. Remember, the scriptures tell us that Yahushua, he is our faith and our righteousness. You see? Receiving the end of your faith. Even the salvation of your souls. We haven't been delivered yet. We haven't been saved yet. But we believe that we are going to be saved. You see? We believe that we are going to see Yahushua come back in the chariots and destroy this wicked ass kingdom. And we're going to be exalted and transformed in new bodies, man. You see? So, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. Like I said, I want to do this lesson for the brother that asked me. Hopefully that answers your question. Baba Kasha, you can drop, your comments in the comment board. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and that's what teaching his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. Until next time, I say shalom.